Hi everyone, I'm Nick, and this is the KM-G7 mechanical keyboard from Aukey. This is an 87 key LED backlit keyboard that uses real mechanical switches. You can pick up the KM-G7 for just $47. Now the one I have here doesn't have the number pad, but Aukey also makes a full 104 key version for only $12 more. I'll put links to both in the description below if you want to check the current price or pick one up. Taking a look at what's in the box, besides the keyboard, you also get a 24-month warranty card, a user manual, and a keycap puller. The KM-G7 is very solid and feels really well made. The top plate is made out of metal surrounded by a plastic bottom. Flipping the keyboard around, there are two tiny rubber pads along with legs that flip out if you want to angle the keyboard. When the legs are flipped out, the keyboard stays firmly in place, but if you don't have it angled, then the keyboard rests on these tiny plastic nubs instead. And the two rubber feet on the bottom aren't enough to keep the keyboard from moving around, but it's not a huge deal. The keyboard is nice and clean looking, everything has a matte black finish, and the only branding is a small Aukey logo in the top right corner. To the left of that are LED indicators for caps lock and scroll lock. The keyboard has a small footprint with very narrow bezels with just a little bit more space on the top edge. The fixed rubber USB cable measures 5 feet long and comes with a Velcro tie. You won't get a wrist rest with this keyboard, but for a mechanical keyboard under $50, that's okay. I'm not a huge fan of the typeface they chose to go with, but that's my personal opinion. I prefer a nice, clean, simple font, but this font isn't that crazy. There aren't dedicated media or volume controls, which is pretty typical. Instead, there are app shortcuts and media controls that share the function row, which you use along with the function key. And at least the volume controls are on the F10 and F11 key, so you can adjust the volume with one hand. For gaming, you could disable the Windows key so you don't accidentally interrupt your game. The manual is pretty light on the specs. I didn't see any information on anti-ghosting or N-key rollover, but I could confirm that the keyboard recognized all the keys that I pressed at the same time, even when I mashed 20 keys at once. Also missing is any sort of macro function, but again at this price I wouldn't expect that. Moving on to the switches, this keyboard uses Aukey Blue switches instead of Cherry MX switches. These are clones of the Cherry switches. The Cherry MX are German made and are really considered the standard for mechanical switches, but the Aukey Blue are well received. Aukey switches are rated at 50 million keystrokes and have similar characteristics to the Cherry MX Blue switches. The Blue switch has a tactile bump and an audible click with each press. They feel really good to type on and feel nearly identical to the Cherry MX Blue switches. Here's a quick sound comparison between this keyboard and the HyperX Alloy FPS, which uses Cherry MX Blue switches. Moving on to the lighting, this is really the only thing that's a little disappointing. First for the good, there's no software needed, so everything can be set directly from the keyboard, and there are even 2 customizable slots. Using the function key along with the number row, you can choose between preset layouts for first-person shooters, real-time strategies, or MOBAs. Using the function and insert key, you can cycle between 9 preset lighting modes, and these are pretty good. You get some nice motion effects, plus the common ones like breathing and wave, and you can even adjust the speed of the motion using the function and right or left arrows. You get the ability to customize 2 slots, which you can save to the 9 or 0 keys. Just choose the slot you want to save it to, press function and the home key, and then press any key that you would like to light up. Then press function and end to save it. But now for what I find a little disappointing is there's no way to change the colors. So the top row is always going to be blue, and the third row is always going to be green. I'd love to have the ability to cycle between colors or set all the keys as white, for example. The other thing is the lighting just isn't very bright or saturated, and I think that's because the actual LED is located on the board instead of being on top of the switch. The lighting's okay, but it's just kinda dull. You can adjust the brightness with the function and up or down arrows, and you could even turn off the colors altogether, but the colors just don't get that deep. For the price though, it's nice to have the lighting, and the different modes are pretty cool. I think Aukey got almost everything right with this keyboard. The build quality is great, and it has a nice and clean look with very narrow bezels. You can pick it up with or without the number pad, and to me, the Aukey switches feel just as good as Cherry MX Blues. But for the price, this is a very solid choice if you don't want to spend a ton on a mechanical keyboard with lighting. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and please subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching.